14th,
Yeah.
1988. And we're sitting in Bert and Beryl Taylor's comfortable living room here. And we're about to go back in time a little bit. Not too far back. But Bert has experienced a few things that I think people would be interested in. So you say that where were you born?
Kelowna.
Kelowna. So you came down the lake on the Sycamoose.
Yeah.
Yeah?
When we come over by train, it was in February, and it was 30 below or better when we got off the train
Is that right?
at Belford. That's the first station up out of town here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're just, yeah, well, I don't know if you know where Belford is. It's the first station.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. No. Where is Belford?
Yeah, well, that's about 6 miles
From?
before you get to Jura.
Oh, okay.
It's just
no.
up on top. The hill,
Yeah, okay.
That way up.
And that's where you lived first?
No, we lived down there where Jackie Powell lived, in 1 mile.
Oh, okay.
That old house there
Okay, yeah.
used to belong to Percy Rowlands at that time.
And that's where you grew up? Spent most of your time growing up?
No, I was left there when I was 10 years old.
Oh, you were left there.
And we come up here.
Oh, I see.
My
Yeah.
dad bought this ranch here.
This whole flat.
And
For
the
the
flat.
for the sake of this,
The other flat.
this Taylor's Mills, it's called here,
Yeah.
east of Princeton, and it's a section of about 25, 30
It used to be
acres?
60 some acres.
60 acres. Did
Well,
the
it's
golf
all-
course too?
No, just along the golf course, way
Yeah.
down to all those trailers and all those houses belonged to my dad.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
property did.
Yeah, and then this flat on the other side next to the river here.
All this here, this side
All the
of
way
highway.
down, yeah, right. Oh, Beryl's teasing us with tea or coffee. I'd have tea. I'll bet you
Oh,
Bert would
coffee.
have coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, well, Dad was a millwright. He built that mill out there,
Yeah.
the Moose, for the Moose Lumber
Yeah.
Company at that time. I went to school out there, at the 1 mile school, that little school.
Yeah, I remember that, 69.
We were out there, went to school there in 1926, I started school.
Did you like that school?
Huh.
Come
I
on,
didn't
Bert.
learn very much.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh, no, we were a bunch of ragtags.
Were ya? Did you have a teacher a year, or did some of them stay longer?
About a year was the most.
They'd hang in there for a year, huh?
There
Yeah.
was a bunch of us, Ulridges and the Thomases,
Yeah,
Stewarts,
yeah.
all went to school there. Pretty rough bunch, some of the older ones.
You had a few snowball fights and
A little more than that sometimes.
Worse than that, huh?
I was just a little kid then.
Yeah. So you had to stick up for your rights, though, even when you were.
Oh yeah.
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 Did any kid take you under his wing? An older kid take you under his wing? and say,
You
We-
fight on your own.
You were on your own. Huh?
Yeah, you learned to stand up to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there was no fighting between the kids.
Yeah.
They were just full of hell, that's all.
Yeah. Nothing serious.
Smoking and playing hooky and.
Did you ever go fishing on a day you should have been in school?
No, we didn't fish that much in the creeks. We used to when my mother wanted some fish.
Uh-huh.
You know, no problem getting a feed of fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You only fished what you needed to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd catch enough in a half an hour to feed the
What'd you use, grasshoppers?
grasshoppers, periwinkles, and willow stick and a lime.
Yeah.
That's all we had. Toss
Tie
it.
the hook right on, huh?
Yeah,
right on the line. No leaders, no finesse.
Well, I think sometimes we had leaders.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd take no effort. Sometimes we put 2 hooks on, catch 2 fish at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Same
And
time.
there'd be those little rainbows, huh?
Yeah, but how long?
6, 8 inches long. Yeah.
Oh, there were all kinds of fish in there.
Yeah. Yeah. What we did as kids, we'd go out and we'd skip an afternoon of school. I hope my mother never hears this, but we'd skip during tests,
Uh-huh.
in high school, and we'd head over for a stream and eat our lunch over there, and then we'd show up later, just show up at home.
We had a teacher there once. She had said, "Fight us dance." And my cousin, she used to get her the teacher bad, get her and then stare at her, get her shaken.
Oh
And
no.
that was the end of the day for us.
Yeah.
Oh, she was quite a teacher. I won't even mention her name.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good. Yeah. I imagine some of them had it pretty rough because they probably came from a big city or something like that, and this is their first place to teach.
They were just new teachers.
New teachers, and they weren't used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to stop for a minute here and see how this is recording, okay?
No.
We're just sitting here having some of Beryl's delightful cookies.
Mm.
Bert was telling me that we kind of jumped from the schoolhouse, but that's okay. Bert was telling me that at one time there were 2 ski clubs side by side here, Amber and Princeton.
Oh, they got a friction in between them, and they formed this other club. Bert Irwin, when he started with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Princeton School Club wasn't doing nothing for the kids, I think.
They're more adults, huh?
Yeah. Oh, jumping.
All jumping.
Yeah.
Oh. And you say there was a guy here by the name of Nelson?
Yeah, he was Canadian champion. And we had a big jumper here. It was Ivor Knudsen, worked at the brewery. He come third in the same jump that Ivor. Nelson won the Canadian championship.
So you had 1 and 3. 1,
Yeah,
3.
yeah. Well, Nelson didn't live here, but he come here a lot jumping.
Oh.
All this, we had sometime 28 to 30 jumpers.
Living in town or
Go
coming
come
here?
and jump.
Yeah. Do you know where another area is? Thunder Bay.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be a lot of jumping in Revelstoke and here and over at Rossland, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
In Kimberley, there were big jumps.
Yeah.
And they held these jumps every year.
And you'd go and watch them, would you?
Oh yeah. And they have races and jumping. That's all they had in those days.
Mm-hmm. Cross country.
Yeah, that's before the slaloming come in.
Yeah, yeah. All the
started.
fancy equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just jumping and racing.
Yeah. Well, of course, being Norwegian myself, I learned how to ski when I was young too. My dad gave my sister and myself a pair of skis.
Yeah, we all skied.
Did you ski too?
Yeah, we skied. I used to jump quite a bit.
Did you jump too?
Yeah, not 120 feet or so was what the most I ever jumped. But
Well, that's a long ways to fly without wings.
oh, well, I always found jumping was lots of fun.
Yeah.
And we used to cross country over here on Ball Mountain a lot and back up over here in Darcy.
Uh-huh.
I like cross country skiing.
Was that more open then, or was it more thickly forested?
Which? Ball Mountain?
The country, yeah.
Well, it's just the same. It's been the same all the years I lived here.
Oh yeah. What about Darcy? Was that?
Well, it was on that hillside above Mildy's there, just over the hill.
Oh
back
yes,
there.
yes,
There's
yeah. It's
some
been
good
open.
hills in there.
Yeah, it's open there too.
Well, we used to have good snow, lots of snow then, you know.
Yeah,
You could,
Did you ever run into another Taylor, Dave Taylor? Did he do any of that stuff too?
who, old Dave?
Yeah.
No, he didn't do anything.
Oh.
Play basketball, that's all old Dave did.
Mm-hmm. But this might be of interest to you. He was telling me one time, I was talking to Dave, and he said, "Your name is Sandnes, right?" He says, "I remember that name." And I said, "Well," I says, "there's quite a few Norwegians over in Norway that are named Sandnes." And he said, "Well, let's see." And so, you know what he did? He went right back in that file of his newspapers, right to the newspaper, and pulled it out. And here was a ski jumper from Prince George that had come down.
Oh, I would doubt it.
And he'd won something.
He remembered him.
Yeah, and he remembered him. So you never did pancake out on one of those jumps?
Oh, yeah, fall down. Didn't get hurt.
You didn't get hurt though. Huh?
Yeah.
That's quite a nice hill though. That's
Well,
a good steep hill.
Yeah. All that country over there is good skiing over there. On that Belford, Jura country, it's all
Yeah.
good ski downhill. And you get the snow conditions right in that of February, you know, it softens up and then crusty a little bit.
I'll bet you.
Oh, you
just
can
fly,
go
huh?
glide all over there.
Yeah.
You can go for
yeah.
miles.
Did you make your own skis or
My jumping skis were made by a Swede.
in town here?
Yeah, Johnny
Mhm.
Carlson.
Yeah. Did they have the 3 grooves in them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Big heavy things?
We couldn't afford to buy hickory ones. It cost too much money.
Yeah. Well, they had some dandies where I was too. Well, it's a funny thing. I always thought it ironic. Where I grew up was ski jumping too.
Mm.
It's,
Well,
it's about 125 miles from Thunder Bay.
yeah.
Same kind of terrain and activities in the winter.
There was a lot of jumping done at Revelstoke.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you jump over there ever? Did you ever
no,
go
no,
over?
I just, mine was just for fun, that's all.
Oh, you weren't in a competition.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Some guys I knew when they were young, actually didn't know them. I knew about them. They took a toboggan off a ski jump, and I guess it a lot of casualties after that trip.
Well, my brother and Coin boys, they went down. I think they went down from below that ski jump over there in the hand slice. They said they'd never do it again.
On the landing.
From the jump.
Yeah, from
down.
the edge of the jump. Yeah. Oh, gee.
They said they'd never do that again.
Mhm.
Probably going 90 miles an hour. You know, with packed hard.
Mm-hmm.
I used to ski quite a bit when I worked at. This is when after I quit left school and I worked out there at the mill, Duluth, and the fellow there by Newt Hallstrom. He's the first name on the list. He was killed in D-Day. On the cenotaph there.
Yeah, I heard
He was
that.
a racer,
Uh-huh.
and I used to train with him at night.
At night,
Yeah, we used to after work.
ski in the moonlight.
Yeah, go up on the tour. We had a run. We made ourselves
Yeah.
about a 6-7 mile race
Yeah,
run, and then we'd go around it, you know, a couple 3 nights a week
yeah,
to get himself in shape
yeah,
to run the races.
yeah. And you'd go along with them.
Yeah, both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in good shape those days.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing what you can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I worked with him for 2-3 years. I worked with him about 4 years all told.
Mm-hmm.
He worked for us here, hauling logs for us, before he went in the army. Yeah, we used to have lots of fun up there doing that. The kids, we used to go out in the bush on the sleighs, come in on a 4-horse team with a load of logs,
Mm-hmm.
galloping down the hills and with a load of logs sitting on the back.
Slightly risky, but fun. Yeah.
Well, we thought I wouldn't ride one now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had lots of fun. Take our lunches and they'd be all frozen and toast them on the fire to thaw them out with the other
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
We used to log up to 1 mile there and up Summer Creek.
With power or hand saws?
Hand saws, no such thing as a power saw.
What year would that be in? About
25, 26,
1920.
27.
And you'd use hand saws.
Oh, yeah, all hand saw and horse logging.
Yeah. Wes told me that he used to sharpen saws for people around here. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Wes
he
did?
probably did, yeah. But pretty neat he got him as a sawyer. See a guy would pair up, 2 fellas would pair up
Mm-hmm.
and work together.
Mm-hmm.
And one would file the saws.
One would be a little better.
Yeah, one would be a good filer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to be to be a default. You had to have a good filer when you file. You couldn't. You had to be able to file to do your work if you
Yeah.
want to be a filer.
Yeah. Because there was no shipping them out to
No,
the
no.
saw filer.
You might hit a rock or something. And
Yeah.
You couldn't afford it anyhow. You only get $1 or 1,000, 2 of you.
Really?
Yeah, that's all it was in those days.
How many thousand in a couple of trees? Would there be 1,000 in a couple
Oh,
of
it
trees?
depends how big the trees is. It'd take, most of the fellas only make maybe $4 or $5 a day.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta time you fall them and buck them and
Mhm.
cut that undercup, limb them with an axe. But you had to have a good filer. A fellow that filed the saw, he had to be good at it. Get one guy, he'd sharpen the saw and, it'd cut good, but it pulled heavy. You gotta have a saw that,
The
that
right
pull,
set.
yeah, right set and the right angle and stuff that would
Yeah.
pull easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Otherwise, you're working more than you should.
I know one guy, he'd file a saw and,
Yeah.
it'd cut good,
Uh-huh.
but it just was heavy, pulling.
Yeah. Wes said he showed the guys here how they used to file them back in New Brunswick. Or
Mhm.
oh, thank you. We're getting a refill here, folks.
Oh.
Thanks. Oh, thank you. I had enough cream. That's good.
Okay.
That's good tea. What kind is that? Huh? Overweighty?
Probably neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then out there they got a cat for their logging. One of the first cats, I think it was 1926.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And my dad took me up to the station at Belford in this old hup car of ours. And I heard this noise. You should stay in the car, he says. So I heard this noise in this darn car. And this thing comes galloping out of the car. Out of this boxcar. And I put it in for home. I never seen a thing like that before. It was a gas 30.
Yeah, a cat,
Yeah,
little Caterpillar,
Caterpillar.
made by Caterpillar.
Yeah, it was the first. It was
One
a
of
gas
their
one.
first, huh?
Yeah, well, no, there was ones before that.
Yeah, well,
With
that
Holt,
must
they
go
bought
back.
out the old Holt company, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
But,
This thing rumbled out, huh?
yeah,
And you
No.
wondered what you were in for, huh?
they used that for long. 2 sleighs
Oh yeah.
and 2 wagons.
They pulled two with it.
Yeah, they had 2 big. They had wagons too, big steel wheels about that wide.
Oh yeah.
They used to come by our house there through the meadow there, and those old steel wheels had dust that deep coming by.
Yeah.
They'd go, oh God, pretty
They
choke or
bury
something.
themselves in it almost.
Well, it was dry summer, and they
Yeah.
wanted to just dust. It was down that field below us. It was sorry when we went by the house. Then they had 2 sleighs in the wintertime. They come up there from, well, you know, where Sid Atkinson, the house is, ranch. They're up
Yeah.
at Jack French's up there,
Yeah,
up
yeah,
in
I know
there,
that, yeah.
logged out of there.
Yeah.
And they had 2 sleighs, and they used to have to rough lock all the hills with chains on the runners.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
They drag the wheels, huh?
Well, not with the wagons so much. Well, I think they had brakes.
Or did they drag a log?
No, I don't know what they did with the wagon. I can't remember. But the sleighs, you'd have to rough lock them. Put a chain around the bottom,
Wrap-
around the runner.
Yeah. Just like so, there's less friction.
Yeah, one guy was running the hill, and he didn't keep ahead of it fast enough. He didn't. He was just a new driver, a cat.
Oh, did he get killed?
No, the 2 loads of logs come on the cat.
Didn't
He
do-
jackknifed it. He got off.
Didn't do the cat any good, huh?
Oh, bent the gas tank in and everything.
Huh.
Didn't hurt it much.
Yeah.
But those old cats, they had lots. My dad was always out in the wintertime. The tracks weren't good in those days. Pins would break.
Oh.
And they come down where Johnny Huey's place there up from the mill
I
on
know
Summer
that is,
Creek.
Yeah, I know that is, yeah.
Come down there one night with 2 sleigh loads of logs. We were on 4 or 5 o'clock at night. In the wintertime, the track broke. 2 sleigh loads of logs on top of the track. Spent half the night getting the cat tracks out from under the sleighs. And they had this press and everything to press the tracks. The pins were bad in those old cats.
They didn't have good quality, huh?
Well, I guess the steel, I don't know, it was just
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
Probably when they were, probably that thing too, you know, they were traveling pretty fast, you know, about 6 or 7 miles an hour with that sleighs, you know. And probably that was pretty hard on them. Maybe they weren't built for travel that fast.
Might have got hot and fatigued him, huh?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he come dangling down there in the flat just wide open. 2 sleigh
Well,
loads.
was it the same then too? Quick, get him out of the woods! Quick, get him out of the woods! Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
the loggers now. They're
Oh,
quick,
yeah, yeah.
quick,
Oh.
get him out of the woods.
Oh, they'd have quite a load, you know, good loads on. They had 10-foot, 12-foot bunks on those sleighs. They'd
Yeah.
probably have with those 2 sleighs 8 or 9,000. They'd have down there as much as some of these trucks are hauling on board footage.
Is that right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Behind what? 30 horsepower cat.
Yeah, 30 cat they call them.
Yeah.
I don't know what horsepower they were. Oh, yeah, they'd have big. And all the lumber was hauled out in horses. Lumber wagons to Belford.
Uh huh.
You know.
Was the railroad through then?
Oh, yeah, the railroad.
So that's where they picked it up. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got trucks.
Yeah.
They got an old 28 GMC. Then they haul logs with the truck after. They got this.
Well, how extensively did you get in? Did you guys have your own sawmill?
Yeah,
You did have your own sawmill.
that wasn't until 38.
Oh. So this was prior to you guys were gaining your experience.
We were on our kids. We were just kids out there. And then we moved down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to work out there when I left school. My brother and I, Graham and I worked there. And Norman, my other brother, worked there too.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Taylor Brothers.
Yeah, we all 3 of us worked there.
Yeah.
Then we all got laid off there. So we started up on our own.
And then you'd go out and buy lumber or trees from people, here and there.
Oh, buy from the government.
Oh, you'd get a contract there.
Sale. You would put it up for
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah.
We bought some private timber. We logged all of Darcy Mountain.
Mm-hmm. You built that road?
No, it was built years ago.
I've always wanted to meet the guy that built that road. Holy cow!
It was built in, there was sawmill, that's what they called Savage City then.
Yeah. Now there used to be some quite a little community there, right?
Well, I don't know. I was up there when I was a kid there, right there. Oh, there was a few people living up there. There was a schoolhouse up the road further.
Up on the hill?
Yeah, there was a school there.
Up on Darcy Mountain?
Yeah.
No kidding.
My dad went up there one Sunday to to fix some saws for the fellas up there.
Uh-huh.
And we were up there. Uncle went grouse hunting.
Oh yeah.
A big pile of grouse there in no time. But the mill, I don't know, I forget. I have to be there to show you what the mill was.
Yeah.
Because we burned up the edging pile when we were logging up there. We were logging there in the wintertime beside where all the old slabs were.
Mm-hmm.
So we threw a match to it and burned it all up because, you know, you never know, you get a fire going in the summertime.
And there's still remains of that
No,
fire? Or
No.
No.
they're all grown up.
Oh, how would you locate the mill then? What would you go by?
I just forget now, I'd have to wander out, but there's nothing there to,
Hey, do you know about a building over there that's got a real deep well yet?
where?
There's a well. You know when you go up Darcy Mountain, okay?
Take the right road?
Left.
Left, I don't know of any well there.
On the right then?
There's one on the right. On
Goes
that,
underneath power lines
yeah,
there?
oh, that's the right. There's
Yeah.
on that log building there,
Yeah, there's a log building there,
and somebody burnt a little,
and there's a well there.
yeah, a deep well, yeah.
A deep well, yeah.
Yeah, well, we camped there. We had a camp there, a logger had a camp there.
Hmm.
We had a bunkhouse. Well, fellas, they lived up there.
Yeah, it's all cribbed in with wood.
Those
Or
rock.
used to be.
Rock.
Was it rock cribbing in that well?
Yeah, and the one I'm thinking about. And then there was one over in the trees that we dug. That thing used to go dry all the time. You'd have to haul water for the horses.
Oh.
Yeah, but we dug one over in the draw there and got all the water we wanted.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the one I think. The one that I'm talking about is
It's not
in a
very
draw.
deep.
No, it's in a draw though.
Yeah. But there were several other wells. There was one on the other road that goes on the lower road. When you get to the top of the hill, you go straight on in past Savage City and way into the, what they call the old Popovich place. Well, the side of that we had a well there.
Was that a
dug
big
I
building, the
dug that well.
Popovich place? Was that a
Huh?
big building? Was that a great big log building? I mean, big for up there?
No, it was just a shack there now. There used to be a house there and they moved it to town or something.
Hmm.
Old Pete Popovich lived in.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, I know where you were up there logging then.
Mhm.
That Savage City, they told me they used to hunt deer there
Oh, all that country was good deer country.
and ship them out.
Well, during the Hungry 30s, that old, I won't mention his name either.
No.
But there was, he used to haul them to town. They caught him with 30 deer or something.
Yeah.
And of course, nothing ever happened. He had no money. They just
Yeah.
took the meat away from him, give them to a bunch of relief kids,
Mm-hmm.
people on relief.
Mm-hmm.
But there was lots. Oh, dear. I see as high as 300 deer at our skidways.
Really? Yeah.
Counted it, you know, in dinner time. You sit there and have your lunch or something, and they'd
Mm-hmm.
come in. Oh, the deer you'd be logging away there, sawing away the crosscut saw, and a deer would be eating right beside you.
They knew about that moss and stuff.
Oh, they'd come right on it.
Yeah,
As soon as you fell a tree, they were right on top of it.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
must have
road
been
there,
Great. That must have been great to see.
that's when
anyway.
the road was built when that sawmill in there sometime. Of course, that was soldier settlement in there after the First War. That could have been built then, because there were a bunch of homesteads up there. Of course, the government was selling this land to these poor soldiers after the First War. None of it, well, heck, you couldn't even raise hard enough raising jackrabbits on Darcy Mountain. You know.
Well, it was a settlement. They got so much land for being in the service. Is that?
Yeah, they bought this soldier settlement and
Yeah.
they had these homesteads. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
God, heck, there was quite a few meadows and stuff up there.
Well, that's like in the dry country in the prairie, huh? They
Yeah,
sold some awful marginal land to those
Well, this
poor
was really
sodbusters.
well. This was any good for it was rangeland anyhow.
Yeah.
There was no water up there.
Yeah.
There's some places we had to haul water for the horses. There's only certain places there's water.
Yeah.
You know, in the dry years. But Wes Young worked on that hill. We had him work with a government cat. We rented a government cat. It was an old 60, gas
Mhm.
60.
Mhm.
And he widened the switchback for us when we started
Yeah.
to log.
Yeah.
We started logging on Darcy about 1940. We come off Darcy.
Well, you better believe I'm impressed with that road. The first time I went up there.
And then the wheels, after around the switchback coming through there, your outside dual was hanging right on the edge of the road.
Mm.
Well, we had a few close calls. I down there put it over that Willis Ranch there, right above the house there, when they had raining, slippery. She was just hanging there.
Yeah. How did you get out of that
I
predicament?
went across the seat and out pretty fast.
If somebody came and pulled you back with a cat?
We unloaded the log.
Oh.
It just, bunks went over on the tires.
Oh, and locked the tires, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, we just slid off the side of the road.
Yeah. That would be.
Well, we logged there all winter. We come down there in the winter time.
Did you log the whole mountain in one winter?
No, we hauled all winter too through there.
Oh, but how long were you up there in Darcy?
Oh,
How many years?
1940 to, that must be 15 years up there.
Gee, well, and you know that country like the back of my.
Or better, maybe.
Yeah.
Of course, we were there all the time. Some move away someplace else. Oh, it's good timber up there. There's still a lot of timber up there.
That's one of my favorite places. I just love that Darcy Mountain. That is a beautiful place.
Yeah, it was. Lots of timber growing there now. See, in those days, we ever logged like they did now. It was only about 16 inches breast high.
If it was smaller, you left it, huh?
Oh yeah, that was the, well, you had to. That was the regulations. There was no cutting with small timber.
So yeah, some of those are nice big trees now.
There's some nice trees up in there.
Those big old
See, a lot of timber in some places where there's lots of cat faces. You know, where a burn in the bottom, you never sawed them with a crosscut. Because if you get your saw into one of those old what we call a cat face, well, you would have, well, you just have to file the saw again. So you hit that hard old stuff and it just take your points right off.
No, a cat face was down. What do you mean?
Well, it burnt way in, you know.
Oh, it had been burned before.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're cutting carbon.
Yeah, and
Hard
stuff.
carbon.
Well, it's harder than, you know, you probably
Yeah.
chopped at it. and
Like
stuff.
fire tempered.
Yeah.
Like fire tempered wood, yeah.
Yeah, you never cut them.
Yeah, you just left them.
But your days of chainsaw, you took them and then just sucked their butt off.
Yeah, because you couldn't
Left
use
it.
it. You
No,
couldn't use
it was
that. Yeah.
damaged all the way through.
You guys never made spring poles, right?
No, you never used that in Darcy.
Yeah.
In this country, you weren't allowed. You had to cut your stumps so high.
Oh.
The only reason they used springboards was at the coast because of the churn butts. You know.
Oh yeah, they'd
Goodness.
cut 3 times as many.
Yeah, that's the only reason why they use them. They don't use them anymore with power saw.
Hmm.
But now you got to get down on the dirt for another cut straight. Oh, it was nice timber in Darcy.
That was one of the first areas I explored when I came here was Darcy Mountain. And that Savage City, you know,
Yeah.
I was up there. In fact, I was negotiating with the government to try to get one of those buildings. There was a 2-story building there.
Yeah, we used that. Savage City, we used that as a camp.
It had the stairway in the left back
Yeah,
corner.
yeah, we fixed that up.
Did ya? Yeah.
Oh,
That was a nice little
We
log
fixed it
building.
up and put some paper on it,
Yeah.
and we had a camp there.
Yeah, it was great. And it was, somebody used blue paint. Did you guys paint it with blue paint?
No, I don't think so.
Somebody painted the logs inside blue so that, you know, it
Well,
was
it could have
lighter.
been done. I don't remember
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Yeah, I was admiring that. I was thinking of moving that out to Colmont. I bought a lot out in Colmont, you know.
We had the horses and stuff. There is one house, the old schoolhouse is moved in. It's over. It was moved over on the flat. There's a log house over on that first street on the flat there, 2nd Street, on the flat there.
Yeah.
That come off of Darcy Mountain.
Did it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you see the logs yet, or is it sided up?
I don't know. I have to take a look next time I go by
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I know. I remember, Bert. There used to be one over there.
It's
Yeah,
right
you
there
could
across
tell.
where Jack Davison lives, next to old Jack Hunliff. In there.
Yeah.
Well, I think. See, wait a minute. Jack, I think, his first wife, he lived up there, just up the hill up here. I think he bought a building down from up there and lived in it. And I think they moved that to town. Maybe that's the one they moved to town. I don't know.
Yeah. Half of Copper Mountain is in town. Lots
Well,
of
Allenby mostly.
Allenby?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some houses in Copper Mountain. Most of the houses at Copper Mountain, they were just nothing but shacks.
Oh, Allenby had the better houses, huh?
Well, the company houses.
Yeah.
There was a few company houses at Copper Mountain, but not very many.
Mm.
I don't think there's any more than half a dozen, maybe a dozen company houses at
Mhm.
Copper Mountain. But those houses at Allenby weren't good houses. Cold.
They were panabodes, right?
Oh, there was only 5 petaboats built.
Yeah.
Petaboats. And they were cold up there at Allenby.
I'll betcha.
They had to, they were insulated, put out insulation on.
Yeah.
Well, all those houses at Allenby were built out of 1x12 pine standing on end.
Yeah. 1
Christ.
inch. 1 inch.
Shrunk, and
Yeah.
oh,
You
they
could, you could feel the draft all winter long, huh?
were, yeah, they were pretty cold. I know anybody that lived in them said they were cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were built in the early 20s, I guess.
Did they have schools up there? I guess they
Allenby?
did. Copper
Yeah.
Mountain,
Oh,
Allenby.
yeah, they had a high school at Copper Mountain.
They did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Till
guess.
after the war, and then sometime after the war, shortly they shut the school down. They had the school bus on. I
Oh.
don't know just about when they started hauling, about 50, I guess. But,
I
they,
met, excuse me, go ahead.
but the school at Allenby, they only had a grade 5 or 6 at Allenby.
Uh-huh.
The kids were bused into town
Uh-huh.
for high school,
But Copper Mountain and Princeton had quite a rivalry.
Oh, yeah, Copper Mountain had quite a town up there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big fellas working. Granby, their highest year, I think, was 1,000 men working for them.
Yeah, well, sure.
When they had the coal mine, the power plant, Allenby,
Yeah.
1,000 men. They had a nice dance
Did you ever
hall.
get up there, or were you still in the logging business yourself?
Well, I used to haul up there.
Mm.
I hauled Cotton Mountain for 15 years with a truck. Haul lumber up there.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go right down over the hillside to the crusher,
Mm-hmm.
where they had the whole crusher. It was
I
a sneaky
remember
old
that.
trail down
Where
the
the
hill.
concrete is still there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, there was an old road down there. It wasn't very wide. We hauled all the lumber. All the lumber that went into the mine underground went in through there.
And you made most of it?
Yeah, we did haul it. See, they had to do a lot of cement work, timbering.
Cribbing?
Yeah, well, they blasted that mountain so bad there one year, and I think it cracked the top of it. It's kind of stable, and they had to do a lot of cement, 12 by 12s and 10 by 10s, 3 by 12s and stuff. We put piles of lumber in there.
Did you ever get involved with putting any of the lumber in there where the old school was, the high school in town?
Oh yeah, we
The
hauled.
cribbing in there?
The high school? We
Yeah,
hauled quite a
underground.
bit. Yeah, we hauled a lot of that lumber in there.
For the high school?
Yeah,
To
for
make
that-
the high school?
Right?
To make the high school?
The old one.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
down where they burned. The one
Yeah.
that burned, yeah.
Oh yeah. And we hauled some in there. It was a pretty big job. We didn't get it all. But when they had that little gym and that other, we put the lumber in on that.
Yeah.
Well, half a lot of those buildings and houses in town, Alice of Flat, were all our lumber.
So people could come out to your sawmill and order lumber right there?
Yeah, oh yeah, they bought it right here, come with their own truck and get it.
Yeah, or else you'd bring it to them, huh?
Yeah. Oh, a lot of those houses up where you live,
Mm-hmm.
and down on the next bench there, the lower bench, it was,
Maybe my house even.
well,
Could be.
could be, I don't know. You know, some of those were built after we sold
Mhm.
out, but most of the houses down below, I think Ralph Robinson's house, we hauled the lumber up there to him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's quite a few houses up there, I think. But on the next bench down, there was a lot. Down Jack Millen's house, and
Mm-hmm.
all them in there were we supplied.
Boy, I have often admired the quality of that lumber.
But
Holy cow. The lumber they used in the houses, Bert, I guess you know that.
it was all shiplap and 2x4.
Yeah, but it was such good lumber.
Oh, yeah.
They're making furniture out of that stuff, that kind of lumber now, that
Mhm.
kind of pine. Yeah.
We built a lot of some of those stores in town there.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get in on the carpentry end too?
No, I never heard.
You brought the wood. Yeah.
Yeah, I just bought the wood. Post office, all the lumber for the post office. Well, of course, it's all brick, but
Oh, there's a lot of wood inside.
you know, all the forms and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Traverse Cafe when it was over 80s, all the
Mhm.
lumber to that. That old building on the corner down there,
Well, when did you quit? When did you sell out?
65 or 66.
Oh,
67
just
or
before I came. Yeah.
67 or something, 65.
Yeah. I remember the sawdust piles over here.
Yeah.
There used to be some sawdust piles over
Built
there.
all the lumber in Allison, houses in Allison Flat. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could have bought lots there for $25 a lot. They were selling for that before the war. We had the money, Dad said we had the money, we could build houses there, but we didn't have the money to build a house.
To even buy the lots, huh?
It was hard enough to get, hard enough time getting operating. Couldn't
Well,
borrow money.
what could you buy stumpage for? What did you buy?
Oh, 80, 90 cents a thousand, $1 a thousand.
And then you'd sell it for what?
Well, sometimes we got down as low as 16, 18, 20
That was after
for number one lumber.
Oh boy.
But generally around $1, $1.10 for stumpage.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Did you cruise in too?
no, we didn't have to. Forestry did
The
all that.
forestry would cruise.
Forestry
for
did
you.
all that.
Yeah.
For you. They charge you so much.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to build roads or did the forestry?
Oh, you have to build your own roads.
You had to build the roads, yeah.
What they were. First started out, Darcy's fairly flat, you know. A lot
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Take a plow and plow a track on the high side and dig it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I got so we had a cat for a while. We never got a cat till after the war. When the war started, you couldn't get anything.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, were you guys responsible for that road that comes off the hill down there through the shale? Do you know what I'm talking about? You get way down on the end of Darcy there, and you can come down off that mountain and come down on the highway here.
No, we don't. No, we didn't.
You didn't do that?
No.
I've been meaning to talk to the guy that did that. I almost had a heart attack coming down that in my
I don't
two-wheel
know.
drive.
I don't know what's going on there. We built the other road down, one that comes out of Pitney Lake.
Yeah.
We built
Okay.
that one down. And we
Yeah.
had one going down by Willis's there. We had to go out
Yeah.
from
That
down.
one behind the mountain there?
Which?
Oh, wait a minute.
Down the river here. No, we had nothing to do with that.
Oh.
No.
So you got into the road building too? Culverts?
Oh, you had to build your own road.
How'd you handle culverts in those days? Make them out of logs?
Yeah, if you had to put one in.
Yeah.
Or if it's just a small stream or something, you can build one out of 2x12 and shove it in.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it wasn't a main road. It was just
Yeah, but just for your logging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like Darcy, they were dry anyhow. You didn't need to worry about culvert.
Yeah, true, yeah. That was your main area then? Darcy
Yeah,
was your...
so we went to Willis Creek, then we went up Willis Creek.
Oh, you did?
We put that road up from Willis's
Oh,
ranch up. It goes by Jamerson Lake.
yeah,
We put that road in there.
you did, yeah. That was a little different story, wasn't it?
Oh, we had D8 on that one.
Yeah, because that's hilly country. That's not
Well,
flat.
that grade there on there was pretty heavy digging. Yeah, well,
How did you learn to drive cat? Was it a natural step after driving horses?
oh, it just got that way.
Huh?
It just got that way. Just started. Oh, my kids could drive cats.
Oh, yeah.
Drive truck there. Oh.
They
When
grew
you
up
get
with-
around like that, you got a family and around with machinery like that, all the kids seem to learn. Yeah, the darn kids were driving the trucks around the mill yard when they were 7, 8 years old.
helping you out.
Oh, they were doing something on the week, cleaning up and stuff. Something to do so you can drive the truck.
Yeah, they just wanted the truck. Yeah.
Oh, and
They were willing to pitch
the
sawdust.
cat
for
was
it.
around, they were driving the cat.
Oh, yeah. Didn't hurt him.
No,
Didn't hurt him. You never got hurt either, huh?
no.
I would think that you wouldn't. Now, this is going to sound like I'm complimenting you, and maybe I wouldn't, but you're pretty quick. Your mind
Well,
is
you
quick.
don't.
You see things.
Some people are accident prone, you know, and they just. But you got to use. We out in the bush. It's not that dangerous if you use your head.
Mm-hmm.
It only takes one slip. And
Yeah, those trees are plenty heavy.
well, if you start falling, you want to make sure you'll be able to step out of the way or something.
Yeah.
You know, if something happens.
Yeah. Did you ever have any close ones, though?
Oh, I'll get the odd limb.
Did you? Drive you in the ground a little bit?
No.
Short? Yep. No?
That was before hard hats, and it hurt too. But the hard hat was a great thing after
Uh-huh.
we used to have aluminum hats. They were good and tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, they say you fell a tree. You didn't fall a tree and run like hell. You just, as soon as it went, you stepped back.
And watched it, huh?
Well, yeah, you don't no sense of running.
Yeah.
You might run right into something.
Yeah. That's what I did some surveying. I don't know if you knew that, but I would knock a tree down, and the guys would say, "Run, run." I say, "I want to see where it's going first.
Well, you don't
know?
run.
I want to see where that baby's going. You know.
The only thing when you're falling and stuff like that, and you're falling in brush and everything, it's different than falling out in the open. Something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
you get caught up.
The brush or something, you got to be able to make yourself clear.
Yeah.
So don't stand behind the windfall and fall a tree down.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you do fall it, step over the windfall so you'd be clear to get out.
Yeah, and watch the kickback.
Well, you keys to the kickback, not if you don't fall them off the stump. You know, don't cut all the wood off; they'll kick back then.
Yeah. Never got knocked down or knocked out.
Well, once I got hit in the face with a jill poke.
What's that?
Well, a stick is bent down. They cut the limb off, come up and took all the height off the face.
Oh. Yeah, my neighbor had his jaw wired together. He was drinking out of a straw for a long time on a
Oh,
similar.
it does. Accidents does happen. But if you're careful, I mean, it only takes once. If you get careless,
Mm-hmm.
most all those accidents, a lot of the accidents in the bush were from carelessness.
Or you get too tired, huh?
Well, it's just you get carried away. I mean, see, you're careless.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, when Hamilton's store was torn down, remember her old secondhand store on Main
Yeah.
Street there, on the Bridge Street, I should say?
Yeah.
We found a bunch of old axes in there.
Yeah.
The heads, you know.
No.
Would you be interested in seeing those sometime? Boy, are they beautiful axes. I mean, I've never seen anything like them.
No.
They're slim,
Fallen axes.
yeah, double bit
Real
fallen.
slim. Only about this wide on there.
Oh no, they were wider, but I
Oh.
mean they were thin.
Oh, like
Beautiful shape, you know, and boy, do they cut nice.
3 or 4 pounders.
Yeah, 3-pounder, 4-pounder, yeah.
Oh yeah, but it was a fallen axe. What they call a fallen axe. They never used them much in this country.
Yeah,
But at the coast where they had those big undercuts they had to chop,
yeah.
it was an axe, a double bitted. It was about that.
What?
Crossed.
14 inches long? Foot?
Oh Christ! more than that sometimes when they're new.
Yeah.
And they're only about that wide.
Hmm.
So when they chop well in.
Like a chisel.
Yeah, sort of, you
More
know.
like a chisel. Huh?
And they used them at the coast.
Yeah.
They cut you cut those big trees as big as that.
Fireplace.
Fireplace
And that's
there.
about 4.5
You'd have
feet.
to cut undercut in, well, a good foot or better.
Yeah.
You'd need to
yeah.
chop that all out. It takes a lot of
yeah,
chopping.
Yeah. I saw pictures, and two
Yeah.
guys chopping at once.
Oh, yeah.
One on each side.
Yeah, we did that.
What was
We
there?
did that. When you fell by cross, both guys chopped. If you weren't left-handed, you trained one of you had to train to be
I was
left-handed.
going to say that. You have to have a lefty,
Well, you generally trained yourself to it.
so you could chop ambidextrously.
Well, I am sort of that way anyhow.
Yeah, you could go either way, yeah.
Yeah, I could go either way, but I couldn't chop that way two ways now because I'm out of practice.
Yeah.
But it don't take me much to change. I do everything with both hands now, but there's some things that I can't do with my left. You know, I can write with my right, but if I practice, I can write pretty good with my right with my left.
Left too, yeah.
All you do is try a little bit, and away you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Well, that's handy if you should ever hurt your hand or something.
But see, you have to two men each, one chop, and the other come back, and he'd hit, and, you know, in time.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like driving stakes on the railroad.
Oh, it was nice working in the bush in those days when
Yeah.
it was quiet, no power saws. All you heard is Teamster swearing and
The horses. Huh?
horses snorting and
Yeah.
stuff, and everything was nice and quiet.
Well, how would a day start? What time in the morning when you guys get up?
Oh, it was 6 o'clock, start at 7. When they had the camp, they used to start at 7.
Oh yeah. And you'd get up. That'd be in the winter.
All year round.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you
When I was
eat.
pulling logs off Darcy, I used to take off here at 6 o'clock, 6:30. You'd never get into about 5 or 6 at night.
In the dark.
No, in the summertime.
Oh, in
In
the
the
dark.
summer.
Did you ever come back in the dark?
Oh, yeah, that's nice. They're trucking like that.
Yeah. But with animals, I suppose you wanted to get in
Oh, no, you
before
didn't
dark.
work. You didn't work in the bush in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, like with the days of the horse logging at the moose there, with all horses, and the horses were kept at camp, and they had to go out. Well, the guy teamster had to look after his own horses. He'd get up about 4 o'clock in the morning, feed his horses and harness them, curry them and harness them, then go have his breakfast. Maybe by 5:30 he'd head for the bush. Well, it might take him a half, 3/4 an hour to get to the bush.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 7 o'clock. Well, it'll be just nice daylight then.
Mm-hmm. The horses came first.
Oh yeah, horses always come first.
You took care of them. Then you worried about
They all
your
took
meal.
a sack of feed along with them
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a sack of oat,
Yeah.
a little bit of oats for dinner for them. Then they were in at night again.
What kind of horses did you use? I've heard of the big Persians and
The
Belgians.
Perchins, they used Perchins on a lot of Perchins on in the bush skidding,
Mm-hmm.
and they used a lot of the Clydes on the wagons, on the sleighs and stuff.
The Clydesdales.
If they used 4-horse team, they put a Perchins on the front end.
Why?
They're smaller and faster.
Oh, better for turning and stuff.
Well, yeah, they could make the Clydes work. Oh, 'cause Clydes are slow.
Oh, but they're heavy.
Yeah, well, they
horses.
were. Some of those Clydes were weighed pretty close to a ton.
Yeah,
They had out
yeah.
there.
So the ones. What do they call them? Oh, gee, I forget the terms. That's what happens when you're raised in a town of 115,000. But what did they call them? The healers and the what were the front
Healers
ones?
and wheelers
The wheelers were the front ones.
in the elite team. What do you call the leaders?
Yeah.
You had to have a fast team. You're coming down a hill, a fairly steep hill, and you didn't rough lock. You wanted a team that could run and bring the other team along, sort of pull them along.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't rough lock a hill, certain hills they'd have to rough lock or sand.
Mm-hmm.
But the big team was on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
The big Clydes, because most of the Clydes are pretty big horses.
Mm-hmm. Did they breed them around here? Or did they buy them out?
Oh, they brought them in.
Yeah.
I don't know where the Duluth used to get all those horses from, but I can't remember. We got our horses. Guichon Ranch over in Merritt raised Perchins.
Oh yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
we got our horses.
Yeah.
But they use a lot of Perchins. I think they skidded some with the Clydes too. But Perchins are a faster horse.
Yeah.
If you're skidding like that, you want a fast team.
Mm-hmm. I heard this. No, I'm reading, but I don't know if they use them around. They got some. They mixed some of those Mustangs with Persians and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm no
They
doubt
got
about
light
that.
teams, but
Yeah, I would have probably did too.
tough teams, tough
Oh,
horses.
But you had to be in the bush. You had to have a skidding and stuff. You'd have to have horses at least 1,600.
Yeah.
Over
You were
1,500.
handling too much weight, right?
Over 1,500.
Yeah.
Well, a pair of horses, 1,500 or 1,600 Perchins on their front end were good horses for that because they were quick and light.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you were skidding, you want a team. Those team we had in the bush, one team, they weighed over 1,700. One was putting 1,800 Perchin.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have them that big too.
Yeah. I guess you got pretty.
They can pull quite a load, you know.
I guess you got pretty attached to your horses.
Oh, your horses are the best thing. You know, you always got a lot of your horses.
Yeah. I know Allison's took me out.
If you got a good team, you got, with some of them, you get a few knothead horses. Well, you
Yeah.
attached to them.
Yeah.
Felt like braining them sometime.
Yeah. You had to haul their hay and grain too. I guess you had to grain feed them when you were doing heavy
Oh, yeah,
work.
2 sacks oats a week.
Mm-hmm.
200 pounds oats a week.
Mm-hmm. Each horse?
No, team.
A team. Yeah.
You can overfeed them with oats, you know, you burn them out.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Give 'em too
I
many
heard
oats.
that. I heard
Too
that.
many oats. It burns too hot on them when it gets burns the stomach.
Oh, it does.
Oh, it gets them, ruins them after a while.
You mean they're permanently ruined?
Oh yeah, burn their stomach out. It's too hot of food, I guess. I don't know just what it does.
I heard about not letting them get them into the water after you know, they ate their fill of oats or something, and then they get into a bunch of water. That could be dynamite. I heard.
Mm.
That's almost as bad as that solution, right, Beryl, for
Yeah, that's right.
pack rats. Yeah. About your stories as a kid?
Oh, those stories keep popping up all the time.
Yeah.
You never know what to come up with. You think of something and...
What was a favorite thing your mom made when you were a kid? If you had your choice, your druthers,
Favorite, what do you mean?
like what she cooked or baked or whatever.
Oh,
Now
I
that
don't
we're
know.
eating Burl's good cookies here.
Oh, I don't know.
Mine was my mother's biscuits. Baked
Yeah, my mother
biscuits.
made good biscuits. Oh, my mother was a good cook.
She would also take one little can of salmon and feed 10 people with it.
Yeah, she knew how
Was
to...
that during the Depression?
Mm-hmm.
Fish cakes.
Fish cakes, yeah.
Yeah, take a big can of salmon and feed a crew with it.
Stretch it to a whole
Oh,
crew.
yeah.
And it tasted like salmon all the way through.
A lot of people today, he's looking at the cupboard, nothing to eat. That, some of these older women like that in those days could make a meal out of nothing pretty well. You wonder where they got the stuff to make it.
Well, I can remember, you remember how you said you can remember back to a certain time?
Mm.
Where I can remember really vividly is World War II, 1940, 43, 44, 45, because my dad went off to war and I was 7 years old. And
Mhm.
But my mother, I can remember that we would go down to the store and she would get a can of this beef, you know, dried beef in a can.
Mhm.
But that was a big meat meal during the week. That was the big meat.
Mhm.
She'd send me off to get it. Once
Where'd you
a week.
live, in the States then?
Yeah, oh, it was severe rationing and stuff where I was at.
Huh?
Oh boy, yes. We had coupons for sugar.
Oh, it was it here too.
I did too.
Yeah, I know you did because I was talking to somebody about them.
But I think we were at it lot longer than you were.
Oh, yeah, you were in at 39.
Yeah.
And the States didn't get in until 41, really. Japan.
They had meat rationing too, and they gave a, you know, if one coupon was worth £5 and you only wanted 3 pounds, and they gave you little tokens,
Oh, yeah.
like little fat tokens,
Yeah.
for the rest of it. And I've still got one of them, and
Yeah.
I've still got our ration books that we used.
Yeah.
Kept-
Were they kind of like postage stamps? They perforated in between
Yeah.
like a postage
Yeah.
stamp and you ripped out certain ones? Yeah. I kind of remember that.
I think as far as the rationing was concerned, you could have a family where it hurt people was a bachelor's, or a woman living by a widow woman or something, or a single person.
Oh, those with families.
But in the family, I think they didn't get along too bad with everything.
Mhm.
You know, because you had some little kids, and they had some little kids, you know, 2 or 3 years old. Well, they got the same ration as the older person.
Mhm.
Sure, you didn't get all the, and then come canning time, you got allowed so much extra sugar for
Putting
canning.
up preserves, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think it was.
You guys never really hurt.
They
too
never
much.
got hurt like they did in England and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we didn't starve or anything, but we were short meat. That's what I remember. We didn't have as much meat. Darn, if only I had known how to fish and hunt then.
Well,
Because there was a lot of game then.
a lot of people, a lot of game here. A lot of people got game. and
Yeah,
stuff,
we
you
never
know.
had it though.
But,
Oh, it didn't hurt us. You know, it didn't hurt us.
we don't live without meat.
Yeah, yeah. We did. We did live without meat. We had one meat deal a week.
Mm.
A lot of macaroni casseroles
Yeah.
and
Well, I don't
Tuna-
think the meat you get, you have to stretch it, make it into things
Yeah.
that'll sort of
like
stretch it.
like your mom did, right?
Yeah, stretch it out. And so.
Yeah. Meatloaf and fish
Oh.
loaf and yeah. Did you get raised in a large family, Bert?
There was only 4 of us.
Your 3 brothers and
Yeah.
you? All boys?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
We had a sister, but she died when she was 4 months old.
Oh.
But we had, during the Hungry 30s, we lived here in the Hungry 30s. We always eat good in Hungary. We never had no money. We always eat good.
Yeah. You always had a garden. always had
potatoes.
those.
We grew potatoes and sold them.
Yeah.
$1 a sack.
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't so long ago somebody was selling them here. Was that you?
No, I don't.
Was that the Sinclairs?
No, I don't think so. No.
Who was selling carrots?
Well, it might have been Sinclair's. We're selling carrots.
Carrots and I thought they had spuds too.
We used to make. Mother used to make butter and sell it.
Did she?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get in on the churning?
Oh yeah, we had to churn it. 2 bits a pound, 30 cents a pound. Dairy butter.
Did you ever trade for goods at the store? Like you
Oh,
would bring
yeah.
your butter and they'd give you flour.
Well,
Or
they would
something?
have butter. We mostly sold butter to private people. So brother had his eye knocked bad. The doctor operated on him. This Dr. Naden.
What's his name?
Naden.
Naden. Okay.
Naden, he's retired now. He was a compensation doctor for a long time. He was a bone specialist. Well, mother paid that off with eggs and butter.
How many years did that take?
Oh, it took a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But how would the doctor use all that eggs and butter? Would
Well, he had a family.
Yeah.
He used a couple dozen eggs a week and a couple pounds of butter.
Oh yeah. Okay. And he lived here in town.
Oh yeah, he was here for a couple, 3 years.
Yeah.
He was like come out of the medical school. He had to do his internship. You know,
Right.
sort of like a
Right.
general practitioner
Yeah.
before he went into specialized.
Yeah. To be a bone specialist. Yeah.
Oh, we sold butter all over. She sold at camp and one camp.
Yeah.
That'd give us ready cash.
Yeah. So you had dairy animals then too.
Well, I had 6 milk cows.
Oh.
And
Well, that's
so-
why your wrists are so big, huh?
We sold milk and sell a beef, and we never kill a beef for ourselves. Got government beef out here in the hill there.
Yeah.
There were lots
The
of them right
ones
across. What a
Ones
beef!
with the fork and horns.
Yeah, right across the road here.
Yeah.
You know what you want.
The fork and horns.
Yeah. Everybody was eating it.
Well, sure, you'd have to. And I mean, the government and game wardens understood that. too.
Never had any here.
You didn't have any game wardens. Oh. Yeah.
Summertime, you have to get one. You give the neighbors some,
Yeah.
or can.
Yeah. Before
Oh, you never spoil it.
Yeah.
None was ever spoiled.
You didn't let it go to waste.
But we used to get. Dad used to buy a couple of pigs, little piglets, you know,
Mm-hmm.
raise them,
Mm-hmm.
feed them potatoes and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
to fatten them up. All
And you
that
get-
milk, all that slop milk
Yeah, yeah.
from the, you know, I put some shorts with it and fatten them up.
The skim milk.
Yeah.
From after.
And
the
then we
butter.
used to smoke them and
Oh yeah.
put them in brine and make good bacon. We had enough bacon to do all that year. Put it, hang it up in the ice house, wrap them all up in canvas and, you know, in cheesecloth and paper and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And hang it. See, good smoked bacon will never spoil.
Yeah. Yeah.
It won't spoil.
Yeah.
You've probably seen that. But
Well,
as
I
big as today,
understand
it
it
will go
formed
rotten.
a sort of a it formed a sort of a crust on the outside
Yeah,
there.
well, especially on a ham, you know, around the bone, it'd
Yeah.
form a crust.
Yeah.
It'd maybe turn a little blue there, but just cut that off.
Oh yeah.
A good smoked bacon and brine, the Swedish people are one of the best at making brines.
They know how, huh?
Oh, yeah, some of them. Any of those European people are good for making brine. Because you had to soak them for 3 weeks, I think it is. And then you smoked it. That bacon would never spoil.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
bacon you buy in the store,
Yeah, we used to bring. Remember, I told you we went on canoe trips,
Yeah.
and we got what was called Canada bacon. It was a heavy bacon. You know, you cut the slices off. It was not sliced. It was in one piece.
slab.
Yeah, it was a slab. Beryl, It brought me an old coupon book here for the rations of the Dominion of Canada. Ration Book 1. Wartime Prices and Trade Board. Vernon. But it says Red Deer. Were you from Red Deer?
No, that's where, we lived in Red Deer when we were first married. Bert was stationed there.
Oh, I see, yeah. Different kinds. C ration, spare C's. D's, I suppose, is next. Yeah, gray ones, D's. So the war ended, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you got this. See, is there any date on this? No, no date, but maybe on the envelope. Yeah, I remember something similar to this when I was a kid. And those that had cars and those that didn't have cars, they all got gasoline ration tickets.
Gasoline.
And so the guys that didn't have cars, they were really popular.
Oh, not in this country. You don't have to own a car before you get gas ration.
Oh, no.
You
they-
never got a gas book unless you had a car.
Oh, yeah,
You never got it.
yeah. No, they would trade them.
But the guy with a liquor permit that didn't drink, he got pauper.
Yeah. Yeah.
His people had liquor permits. So you used to have a permit to buy liquor.
Mhm.
You had to buy a permit, then you go buy your liquor. And they rationed it. You know, somebody bottled so many ounces, 2 dozen beer a month in a bottle or something. And all these people that never drank, so widows and stuff and maids that never drank at all in their life, all had liquor permits.
And they were real popular.
Yeah, there was more liquor sold, I think,
Yeah.
than before
Before the war. Huh?
before they started the rationing.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
see, a lot of those people never bothered. They'd get one, somebody would give them the money to buy, there's only 2 bits for a permit, and they'd go in and buy the rations and give it to them.
Yeah.
So,
That little. How about tires? That used to be a hard thing.
that's a hard thing. A lot of tires didn't look very good sometimes.
Oh, boy, I guess not.
Well, when we were in the sawmill there business, we had what you call a number 1 priority. You got everything.
Yeah.
Tires. See, we were
War
coming.
effort.
War
War
effort.
effort,
See,
yeah.
we were number 1. We had to ship all this lumber back to 80% of our lumber had to go back east
What do you use it for there?
for automotive crating.
Oh, for shipping stuff overseas?
Yeah, like truck parts and you
Yeah,
know all
yeah.
that stuff
Yeah.
for crates.
Artillery and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
crates.
Yeah.
2x6 and 2x8.
Number 1 wood.
Yeah.
Gee. And then they got it over there and dumped it in a pile and burned it, huh?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Maybe they built some houses over in France with
Well,
it.
80% of I went to England. 80% of it had to go that way. But you had you get all the gas tires and everything you
Yeah.
want. But some of the tires they were using that reclaim rubber,
Yeah?
sympathetic we called it.
Yeah, sympathetic or
Yeah.
synthetic?
Well, I went down to Italy one day and I had 2 brand new tires on them.
Yeah?
I heard flap, 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 flap. You know, here the cord had come right off.
Peeled right off.
Yeah, I get up to the mine and I dumped a load of lumber at the mine up there, and I come home and Christ. Well, coming home and then the other one went out. I just made it home on the skin.
Yeah.
Wasn't cooked or bonded on or something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
The whole cord come right off. Brand new tires.
Just like peeling a potato.
Yeah, I got 2 new ones for it. Didn't cost us anything.
Hmm.
I think they were sympathetic ones, synthetic rubber.
Mm-hmm. I guess car parts and stuff were hard to come by too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it just ground to a halt where I was at.
Well, I don't know. It was you have to be grounds around quite a bit, I think.
Yeah. Well, of all the trucks and stuff you had, what was your favorite? Did you have one vehicle that gave you such good service and
Well,
everything?
no,
you
we
never-
had pretty well.
Are you an international man?
No, we were all Fords, and
You had Fords, huh?
then we started. We got into heavier logging, and we got in some heavy pull uphill logging. We went into Whites.
Oh yeah.
Then we got a Kenworth last, using Kenworth,
Hmm.
big Kenworth. And,
Mhm.
you know, it got farther away.
Mhm.
But the old Ford worked all right with Darcy because it was all downhill.
Yeah.
Did pretty well.
Well, where did you meet this guy, Beryl?
Here, in Princeton.
You met him here, huh?
Here.
Yeah.
Well, my sister's married to Bert's brother.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you met through that.
Yeah, well, I
Relation.
knew him before that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
My sister worked here,
Mhm.
and I came over, of course, to see her, and
Mhm.
one thing
So, but partway through the war, you guys got married partway through the war. You went active then in the service, huh?
I was active from the start.
But how, you worked on the sawmill too, right?
Up to that, I did the,
Up to 42,
yeah.
and then you went in, huh?
That was out for a while too.
Mm.
They took a bunch of us after, well, England got so full there for the sinking of men, you know. It was funny the island stayed there. You know, they sent a lot of us loggers home and coal miners.
They
And-
did back
yeah.
from England because
No, from Canada. Before you went overseas, they didn't let you go overseas. I was ready to go over in '43,
Uh huh.
and
But they considered your effort important.
they sent us home to the, well, it's getting so they drained the men, and all they had was women and old fellas, and
Yeah, yeah.
they were no good out in the bush. You couldn't
Yeah.
send a woman to run a casket saw or run a team of horses.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And
So
the
you were-
working the coal mines and stuff, coal miners were needed too, you know.
Oh yeah, to keep the fuel coming.
They sent them all, a lot of them home.
Uh,
Then just when D-Day started, they called us all back.
oh, so
Vancouver was just full of coal miners and loggers.
oh yeah. So you got in on the invasion, did you?
No,
Oh.
it was after. They called us back just after D-Day too.
Oh, for to go over and occupy.
They had to retrain us too.
Oh.
You know, put us back to training again.
My dad said, you know, he was in the Navy in
Mhm.
the United States there, and he said he ran across some Canadian troops. He says they were the best trained,
Mhm.
the best dressed, the best fed of all of the armies he knew.
Well, Canadians were a bit well trained because some of those fellas that was overseas in 1940, look at them.
They lasted the whole war, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they were. They were training all the time.
yeah, yeah. No, he said that they were the most. Well, how did he put it?
Well, I think the Canadians.
Smart.
The Canadians were the best trained, the best dressed for certain Americans with nice looking uniforms, but they were nothing but a pile of cotton and stuff.
Yeah,
See, we had good wool uniforms.
yeah, yeah.
As battle dress the Canadians had was some of the best.
In the world, huh?
I logged with them afterwards, you know.
Yeah?
In the bush, you never get wet in those things.
Yeah, they were that well
Right.
made.
Oh, it was good wool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what he said. What branch were you in?
Well, I was
Infantry?
in the Army Service. I was
Were
trained
you-
as a motor mechanic in the Army
Mechanic?
Service.
Oh yeah,
I went back, I had to go in the infantry because it was A1.
yeah.
It was overseas with Canadian Scottish.
Besides that, you knew how to shoot.
Canadian Scottish.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't matter if you knew how to shoot, you know, you make lots of pull the trigger.
Just
Well, the
point-
reason why the Canadians, they say that was good, I don't know what the Americans like, but the Canadians had their own initiative. You know, they didn't need an officer to tell them what to do. You know, they had an initiative of their own. They knew what they were to do.
Mhm. Well, this will sound funny to you, but I think it's true. The Germans said that. Well, it depended what part of the United States the troops came from too.
Mm.
But they said they didn't like Canadian and U.S. troops
Mm.
because they were too sneaky. They didn't march down the road, or they didn't. You know, they knew how to use cover, and they were quiet. Whereas some of the other troops, like the British or some of that, they had a lot of fanfare, and
some of the-
bagpipers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they knew they were coming.
American, not the American, but the European armies, you know, they just trained the men. They were just like a little machine, their troops, you know.
Mhm.
The officer, if you killed the officer, well, he was lost, the rest of them.
Yeah, yeah. But
It-
the,
it-
but the Canadians,
Well, if
Each
an
was-
officer got killed or wounded, something buck private the back end could take over.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, they knew war.
yeah.
Of course,
They've been through the ropes.
some of them they had to. You take after a fellow had been in for a while, in action for a while, and a young officer come, they had to train him, because he'd kill you. He's going by the book. You know, this is taught in officers' school to do this and do that. Well, that's not the way to do it when you're out in action. Every little thing is different.
Yeah.
You know,
Things don't happen according to the book.
no, and you got to.
Yeah.
This fellow said, as long as once you got the first 2-3 weeks in, you had it made.
Yeah, yeah.
You were going to make it because you got smartened up then.
Yeah.
See, all the casualties was the new recruits, most of them.
Yeah, the U.S. Officers, they were supposed to wear their bars, you know, and
Yeah.
their stars and stuff, but they threw them away.
Well, most officers did that anyhow.
They got rid of them, boy.
She was
'Cause
at
the
pistols.
German snipers would, and they got rid of their pistols too, because only the officers that
Yeah,
could carry
pistols.
pistols.
Like a rifle.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't know who they were.
Hmm.
Oh, you got a good officer. Once the officer was in and trained, he was good men. But they were just with the guys too, you know. They were
Yeah.
just the same as the fellas too,
Yeah.
you know. Well, that was the trouble with the European armies. All of them, they had to have. I mean, the men weren't trained to take their own initiative and do things on their own.
That's what happened in Norway.
Uh,
I found that out. I was talking to some Norwegians, and they said it wasn't that the Norwegian army got their guns all tied up by the Germans. You know, the Germans infiltrated Norway.
yeah.
They said it was that the Norwegian officers were supposed to rendezvous with the men at certain rendezvous points in case of an emergency. And those officers never showed up.
Mhm.
So in many cases there was a bunch of men there and nobody took the initiative. They were all supposed to follow the officers. And I imagine the Norwegian army was very similar to the German army, you know.
Yeah,
Because
all
they
that
were,
European is that.
they were all the same, you know.
Lost without a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, a lot of fellas was a sergeant or an officer. A sergeant private one day and a sergeant the next, maybe an officer the following day.
Yeah, yeah, because they'd lose them, the men in the
Yeah,
army.
well, you just move up, push them
Yeah.
up.
Oh well, it was tragic. It really was. My uncle, the oldest of my dad's brothers, he went over in '40. He was one of the first ones
Mm.
in a Minnesota Guard unit.
Mm.
The U.S. Army was not trained.
Mm.
They did not have an army
Oh.
ready. So they were using their reserves and their guards. They went over and he was there for the whole Shamaz from '40 on. From Algeria to Italy up through Germany.
What was it, the Canadian Army?
No,
The British Army?
no, U.S. He was over in some sort of an expeditionary force or something. I don't know.
Must have been after 41, wasn't it?
Oh, well, he was one of the first units out.
Or maybe after 41.
Maybe it was after 41, but he
It
was
has to
one of
be,
the
yeah.
first units out, and boy, did that take a toll out of him. I guess any man that went 5 years in that was...
A lot of the Canadians went to, a lot of the Americans had come right into the Canadian Army. In the Canadian Air Force.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't want to wait.
They had an awful pilot, American pilots.
Yeah, they didn't want to wait.
In the Royal Air Force, Royal Canadian Air Force.
Yeah, yeah.
So they went transferred back again.
As soon as
But
they-
there was a lot of soldiers that never transferred out.
Yeah.
They stayed with
Yeah, I found that out at
Pretty
the.
nice.
I was talking to guys. One guy I know, Haisoon, you know him.
Yeah.
He said he's been in the French Army, the Dutch Army, and the American Army. He was in 3 different armies during that war.
We have Canadian legions in the States.
Oh yeah,
They're from
Because-
American veterans
in the Canadian Army.
in the Canadian Army.
Yeah, yeah. I knew that a lot of them were. They did it in the First World War too. They went over early.
Well, they flocked. Things were tough across the lines too. They flocked just like those boys, the fellas that was riding the boxcars in 1939.
Sure.
They were your first division.
Well, they were the ones. There was food. They could eat.
Clothes.
Clothes. Yeah, yeah.
They had no money for 'em when they rode those boxcars from Atlantic to the Pacific. But as soon as war was cleared, they had money for 'em.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Did you get all your local talking?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think of anything else right now.
You want to hear some of this, Beryl?
No,
No?
she heard it all right now.
Well, we haven't. I don't think we got into some of your boyhood escapades enough, but it's up to you.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, let me tell you about the sheep that he split.
Okay. Beryl's going to tell a few stories
No,
here.
I'm not, no, that's his story, it's not mine.
You split a sheet. Now it sounds interesting.
You know, you're hanging sheets out in the line.
Yeah.
It was tearing it. The mother said, "Who did that?" And she asked everybody, asked me, "Where did you do that?" "I don't talk."
You said I don't talk.
And he took a stick and hit the sheet, and in the wintertime, when they were frozen
Oh
solid.
yeah, yeah.
and
It just
they-
went. Shh.
They split pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. You don't talk.
6, 7 years old.
How about the rice?
Oh, I didn't cook the rice. Oh, I guess I did cook.
You
Well, that
cooked
was
the-
a lot
you
of
cooked the rice.
cook rice and end up with 2, 3 pots.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's had that experience.
Oh, yeah,
All
me
kids.
too. First time I ever cooked rice. Holy cow, what a surprise. Sheesh, the lid came up in the air. I couldn't believe that I had that much rice.
You know, Bert's brother made biscuits one day, and they were so hard, they couldn't eat them.
Forgot
So
to
they
put the
threw
lard
them
in.
out to the chickens, and the chickens couldn't eat them neither.
Petrified stones, huh?
Yeah.
Instead of scones, they were stones. Huh?